Hi, Elizabeth here, and I want to cover I want to say a new discovery. It's pretty much done already by multiple other people. But see, the only thing I'm really concerned about here is mostly on the support roles, because I usually play a support role either 4 or 5, and I usually like to first pick most of the time. If I do pick like the later phases, is because I'm planning the counter pick and I don't really have a clear idea what I want to play. But in this case here, there is a new hero that I've kind of been playing that, I mean, it's pretty clear what it is. It's Witch Doctor, but it's a hero that I can kind of first pick, like first phase pick. It's almost always never banned. That's the other thing. And 2 right now is extremely disgusting as a position 4 or position 5. It's probably better on position 4 because position 5 because position 5 is a bit more defensive for you. You can stick close to the tower at the wave. And also because you have a longer way to a longer range to deny EXP, you can chase effectively any offlaner or position 4 out of EXP range, and that's kind of why it's so strong. So let me cover on this particular build for Witch Doctor and why I kind of believe that it is probably going to be a very good 4 or 5, and you'll see probably more often in your matches. Okay, so first things first, there's been a buff to the facet. I don't exactly know how much, but Voodoo Restoration at level 1 is actually really strong with this, mainly because it gives you 30 damage per second in a 700 radius, and then it does a 15 heal per second. So what this means is, with this, you're gonna do 30 damage to whatever hero that is within 700 radius. It also means you're gonna heal yourself for 15 every second, and yeah. What makes it so strong is that not many heroes can trade into this and win. In fact, most heroes are probably going to trade into this and lose, even if they have regen. So even if they brought regen to themselves, let's say they got a couple of tangos, they would still lose in the trade. And that's how obnoxious this is, right? So let me show you exactly what you would start with. Double mask into magic stick. Let's put a let's say pretty tanky support. How about Ogre? Ogre would be pretty good. Oops. Actually no, let me think about it. Okay, let's try an Ogre. This basically dumpsters any melee melee hero that is a like the melee support hero on that is on the opposite matchup from you. So let me kind of show you how. Let's say he goes Ignite, kind of what most support ogres would go. Let's say he goes a Tango, Magic Stick, maybe a couple stat items, something like this. Okay, this is a generally an acceptable itemization for ogre level 1. Okay, kind of show you how the trade will look like. So he's gonna run at you with this, and you're gonna turn it on. He's gonna chase you, and you're gonna kite him. Yes. As you can see already, he's already losing the trade significantly just by approaching me. All right. So let's say he eats a tango and he does this. All right. I can just kite him. Right. I can just kite him. And the moment he turns around, I start hitting him again. And look, he's losing the trade even with tangos, yeah? I have to stand there and actually just sit there and trade with him for him to actually win them. So if it's a melee hero that you're against, they're kind of fucked. Because all this while they're approaching you, you're doing damage to them. And a pretty severe amount of damage. You can also like kind of toggle it on and off, although I don't really suggest it. Usually I like to bait people within melee range, and then I turn it on, and then they realize it's a really fucking bad trade and they have to run, and I turn it on and chase them while hitting them, sort of thing. Yeah. So let's say we take away the ogre. Let's try something like a hoodwink, right? Let's say this facet. Okay, let's say we give hoodwink. I'm gonna free spells. Let's say we give hoodwink tangos, a bunch of sticks, which will give quite a bit of stats. Okay, and let's go. Nothing down here. You can tell, alright, she's losing the trade. There's no way she wins this. And if I've got full mana, there's a long way I can go with this. I can just chase her down. And she's kind of fucked here. So yeah, this is an extremely obnoxious hero right now to deal with in the lane. It's even better if you have a carry or an offlaner that can allow you to stun or quickly get to you. So for example, if you're laning with a Dawnbreaker who has leveled the hammer, or PA or Razor, you have pretty much a free lane. Very few heroes can kind of beat this combination of stuff. Alright, let me show you the itemization. Generally what you want to do is you want to get this first, so you get this for more mana regen, and then eventually if you can afford it, you want to get boots so you can chase down people even more, and then go into the mana boots. If you feel like the enemy team has the enemy laners have a lot of physical damage and you need more armor, it's possible to get this early, Ring of Protection. The reason why is you're going to build a Soul Ring eventually. Yeah, so you can buy this first, build your Arcane Boots, and eventually go Soul Ring. Soul Rings has some level of efficiency here. Usually when you level up to about maybe about 3 or 4, well, not 4, about maybe 7 or 8, you have efficiency because you can kind of just press Soul Ring and just leave this on, and it will basically sustain itself. You're gonna do that mainly for when you start farming jungle camps. So you can do this and just farm jungle camps like this. You don't even need the death ward, by the way. So you can just go to a jungle camp. Set turn is on. Yep, I can just run around and do this, and I can farm like stacks with this. I've actually, if I can control over the jungle and no one's really utilizing the space, I can actually go there, stack a medium cam and a large cam like 2 or 3 times and just farm both of them just with Voodoo Restoration alone. So you can like pick up a lot of farm even as position 5. You're gonna win your lane with this, so no one's gonna complain about this. And eventually what you want to do is you have these 2 items. You can go for Urn. If you're fighting a lot, Urn is pretty good. It gives you more armor as well, so if you have 7 armor, that's makes you tankier, makes you less one-shottable. This also gives you a form of damage if you get Urn charges. You can press this, cast it on someone, you know, and they will take down pretty fast. And then when they're low enough, you drop Melodic. So the reason why you see me cast Melodic very late is you're really going to just chase people down with this. Melodic is when you feel like you can secure kills with it. So you're going to cast it, secure. Let's say if you've already brought an enemy down. Let's say you brought an enemy down pretty low. Let's say you've been trading with a level 1 hood. Okay, let me reset this hood. Okay. Let's say you've been trading a level 1 hood. And the hood is a half health or something. You just cast it on them, chase them down.
Very fine.
You can pretty much secure kills like just like this. Cast is nice, but I generally prefer this mainly because it helps you like get kills on an enemy that's already really tired of trading you. They have probably like ferried themselves multiple regen and still can't sustain the trades. And then by just dropping this on them, you pretty much kill them. Stun is great if your carry is feeling a lot of heat. But generally I would go for this. If your carry has a stun or slow or disable, they're pretty much dead with these 2. Yeah. So itemization is this: Soul Ring into Urn if I need Urn. If I don't need Urn, it just stays as a Sage Mask. And what I go next is actually a Shroud. Shroud is really good because it gives you a lot of health, so you can just stand in fights and then constantly do damage. Shroud is also amazing because it gives you an ability to convert the incoming magic damage to mana, which is what you need to sustain fights and sustain your Voodoo regeneration or Voodoo restoration. So definitely get for Eternal Shroud. Almost always I spend the Grizz just to get a Shroud early, maybe about minute 14, 15, and then after that point, there's not many things that really kill you in a team fight setting. You're gonna be surprisingly tanky for most people because you have the Soul Ring and the Shroud. And yep. By this point now, I think most of the time the team is already stomping the game. And then what you go for next is Meteor Hammer. Just to shove towers even more, to do even more damage with the Voodoo Restoration. So Voodoo Restoration does scale with Meteor Hammer's Magic Amp. What you really care about a lot is for the mana regen amplification, so that helps you to sustain this. Once you hit level 12 as well, you get the, or rather level 10 as well, you get the Voodoo Restoration mana per second. But as you can tell, this pretty much just gives you infinite Voodoo Restoration. Almost always I find a situation where I don't really need Death Ward. I do find Death Ward useful, especially if I'm not getting targeted. But if I'm getting targeted and running right in front, I don't find Death Ward very useful at all. Mainly because I know it's gonna get disabled. So I would just like run in front with just maxing out Paralyzing Cast and Maledict. During team fights, yeah, just run around, look for easy targets to burst with Maledict. So if you see their carry jump in, stun Maledict, and just stand there. It's so much pressure in fights, it's pretty insane. And then if you win fights and you're still alive, Meteor Hammer pretty much allows you to push with this kit. If your team is getting stomped, you can always go to Voodoo. You just max out Voodoo Restoration and Cask and just go jungle with these two items. Pretty much. And you can take up Dangerous Farm as well. When your team starts doing Tormentor, most likely you get the shard. And pretty much you get an extra save, alright? So if you're getting jumped here, you have Voodoo Restoration on. And they jump you, but they don't kill you outright because you're tanky. You can just... oh yeah, I don't have all. Sorry. So yeah, if you get the shot, please level this up because it will be useless without it. But yeah, if you get jumped, you can just press this, and your Voodoo Restoration still does damage. All right, so you just mainly as a save to get out of pretty tight situations. But your main damage is just gonna be this. What I eventually go for is if the game drags out even more. Usually by this, we've kind of won. But if the game drags out even more, you just go for Veil. You can also go for the Veil early instead of the Meteor Hammer if you feel like you need more physical damage reduction, you need more armor. So you can go for the Veil and then you go for the Shivas. And yeah, the DPS is pretty nice.
Good work down there. Also, just so you know,
and yeah, that's how you play position 4, position 5 Warlock. That scales into a carry position, or rather scales into a carry, essentially a carry. Let me show you some of the games I've played already. Played about 4 games. One was a complete, this one was a loss mainly because my team was full of dead weights. Carry 1-6, mid 4-10. So you have a situation where every lane's kind of lost. Not much you can do about it. It happens. I have the most damage here, interestingly, as a position 5 support. And buying like the worst wards as well. So yeah, there are games like this you can't help. You know, you just have everyone in your team is kind of useless. But on the games where your team actually can do stuff, like they're good at playing the game, they're not absolute washers, you're gonna have a pretty fun game. So you can see here, almost close to highest damage dealt with heals. I've gone for a mech here because my team needed it. They don't really have much to stay in the push. Look at that, GPM 581 as a position 5. I have most wards bought as well. So, yep. 181 blast hits mainly because Voodoo Restoration allows you to farm stacks. And you can also shove waves with it with no problems. Yeah, so that's one game. This other game here, which is the second game I tried. 600 GPM. This is position 5 as well. 200 highest damage here. Yeah. 17 kills on a position 5. We ended by about minute 23. So that's how fast this was. So it's basically 600 GPM on a 23-minute timer. And yeah, what's the last one? Last game was the first game I tried with this. All right, so that's why I haven't really figured out what I want to do with it. I actually got the inspiration from watching a Thompson game. But I thought to myself, look, if he can do that with Voodoo Restoration, I need to test how good it is at level 1. And it turns out it's just plain disgusting, yeah. So this game, 500
The middle
GPM.
tower's taking a beating.
Still the most damage dealt here.
Yeah, I'd get over there if I was you.
And yeah, pretty much won the game single-handedly, I think. We stomped safe lane. It was a carry Ricky. And we stomped that lane. Versus 2 melee offlaners. So I think it was Ogre and Spirit Breaker. So anytime you have 2 melee offlaners, one offlaner or pos 4, you're gonna just destroy the lane. It's very hard for them to win unless you constantly put yourself out of position. So almost all 3 games I played was against double melee. This one's against double melee as well. I think it was Yes and Tiny. Yeah, so Yes and Tiny, they lost that lane pretty hard. And then this one was against Slada and Dying, I think. Yeah. So all in all, pretty OP build. Give it a try before they nerf it. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you guys. I'm out. Bye.
Oof. Oh.